So we saw in the first episode the teams were smart enough to kind of take out the strongest team that they felt was there. What can you kind of tease about what the dynamic is going forward, since we did see that they did betray a couple of alliances that were made in that initial promise? Are teams kind of distrusting each other immediately after that?
Yeah. It's natural for people in this survival type of environment to try to make friends, and those friends are good for certain things. It might be that they actually try to help each other. We see in this game that they try to keep each other around, sometimes to sacrifice each other, because ultimately you don't need to be the fastest, you just need to be faster than that guy.
Right.
and that is the case sometimes. We do see a few of the teams who stick to their promises, but I think more so than in another type of show, people are fairly quick to sell each other out if they feel that it's their only opportunity to get rid of some true competition. That led to some serious frustration throughout the shows. And we also see some interesting choices made by the teams. So, we see a strong team get eliminated to start with, but at times they don't always want to get rid of the strong team. Sometimes they get rid of the weak team, because sometimes it's hard to catch a weak team. Think about it. If you've got a team who are very, very good at hiding, they're not good at much else, but they're very good at hiding, then how are you ever going to beat them in a competition that demands that you go and hunt somebody?
Absolutely.
So some of these, teams that you wouldn't think stand a chance at a physical game like this actually can do quite well if they do strategically smart choices.
Absolutely. Well, we did see in the first episode that standing still really did cost them everything. Are there any other kind of gameplay maneuvers, whether it's traps or anything like that that's to come in the show that we have not seen in the first episode?
Well, this game's unique in that we don't have challenges. We don't have sort of mini games within the game, but we do have advantages and sabotages, and that's really what it comes down to. That's key. The teams, to be successful, they need to take advantage of the food supply stations that are set out for them. They need the calories, they need the energy, or they can't compete at a level that's going to make them successful. They have to take advantage of the sabotages. So the sabotage might be that they can nominate a team to wear a 20-pound weight belt throughout the entire game, or they can tie a team together, or they can tag a team electronically so that the hunt team can see where they are. And these sabotages aren't public, so they can choose to keep it to themselves or let people know that they sabotage them. There's also advantages that give the team a certain edge over the others. So it's taking advantage of every single little diversion to the game that I give them. The successful ones will do that. The ones who kind of just think, we're just going to go and do our thing in the woods. We've got strategies. I've got strategies that make sure that won't work.
Well,
they have to participate.
That makes sense, because otherwise you could, in theory, stay in the space for a minute and a half at a time in really good hiding space, and then, just as you mentioned earlier, dumb luck your way kind of into it just because you're a really good hider. Does everyone kind of have the chance to be the hunter? Is it a random lottery type thing, or is it a thing where once you've been the hunter once, you are done for that round until your time comes up again?
Well, at the beginning of every show we have a hunt team. The hunt team is randomly selected, and that's a real random selection. All the eligible teams are put into a pool. One gets pulled out, so we don't even know who that is until it actually happens. It's a surprise to me on stage, okay, it's that team. Great. Have fun. It's natural for the contestants to sometimes think, how come they get to be that? It's just random how it happens. Once that team has hunted and we've been through that whole cycle, then they are not eligible until every other team has had a chance. So theoretically, everyone gets a chance.
Unless you get knocked out first.
Unless you get knocked out first,
perfect.
But everyone gets a fair chance.
I don't know if have you seen any of the finished cuts beyond the first episode, or?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Is there anything that really stood out to you that you can tease is coming?
The things that really sort of stand out to me are the sabotages that take away people's abilities. If we've got someone who's very, very fit, they think that they some of the teams think that they can get away with just being, super fit or super aggressive, but the sabotage I put in there are designed to be able to take away from the hunter skills that they're developing. So we'll take away their speed with weights, we'll take away their eyesight with masks, we'll, take away their ability to be quiet by making them make noise with their alarms. I always want them on edge. I never want them to be complacent about, being great out there. And that said, the advantages and sabotages are all up to the teams, really. It's just put out there, and they have to go find